Welcome to Process to Profitability, a podcast all about the tools and strategies you need to serve your clients and grow your small business, hosted by me, Samantha Mabe of Lemon and the Sea. Join me as I chat with creative entrepreneurs and small business owners about how they built and grew their businesses and how you can do the same in a way that fits you. Let's get started. Welcome to episode 36 of Process to Profitability. Today I'm going to be talking about a website redesign versus a refresh or customization and which option is best for you. Right now, as we go into 2018, a lot of us are looking at redesigning or updating our websites, refreshing what we have so that we can better speak to those dream clients and really start to grow our business and meet those big goals in the new year. For me, this included updating my website with my new signature process, the Strategic Website Design Roadmap, and I wanted to talk through a couple of the options that are included there because I think it will help all of us to figure out what is the best way to go about updating our website. When most designers talk about a website redesign, we are talking about starting from the ground up. We are going in, choosing a brand new layout, updating everything that there is, including the copy and the content, so that you have something new and fresh. A lot of times people will do this if they are making a big transition in their business, or if they're moving to a different platform, or if their website is just a couple years out of date and feels like it isn't elevating their work and speaking to their dream clients. A refresh, however, is something that I offer that I haven't seen a lot of designers do. And this starts with what you already have in place. And I am just going in with my design eye to make suggestions for things that we can customize and update. And then I'm doing that work so that you can take your website to the next level. But it's not digging into the full thing and starting completely from scratch. So first, I'm going to walk you through my process that I go through with all of my clients. No matter what they are coming to me for, this is how I get them the results that they're looking for in a strategic manner. So the first step is website strategy. This phase is all about gathering information and making sure that your new website will be absolutely unique, completely user-friendly, and strategically designed to showcase your expertise and attract your dream clients. This is the phase that will require the most time from you because creating content takes people much longer than anticipated, so plan to focus on this during the strategy and design phases. If we're just doing a website refresh here or a customization, you may already have all of that content in place, and so this phase can move faster, but we're still gathering the information about what you want your website to accomplish and how we're going to get there, so that it makes sense for the design that's to come. The second phase is website design. This phase is the part where you get to see what your website will look like. You'll be spending most of your time creating any content that I need, but you'll also get sneak peeks of the design as it comes together. The overall design will be based on your inspiration and the questionnaire answers that you've provided through the process, and then each page will be optimized to help you reach those big goals, which is why the strategy part is so important. This phase involves mock-ups, whether I am doing them in Photoshop and sending you a PDF or actually designing them in your website. One of the big differences here between a redesign and a refresh is that in a refresh, I'm usually doing this mock-up phase in your actual website itself. In Squarespace, this looks like I'm going in, putting up a coming soon page, and then I'm going and tweaking the pages that you already have. This helps me because it moves the process along faster, and I can actually send you the live site sooner so that you can click around on all of the buttons and you benefit from getting things done faster. If you're doing an entire website redesign, I usually do this in a design program offline so that I can let my imagination run wild. I make sure that the design is what you need it to be, and then I figure out how I'm going to make that work online. This takes more time, which is why the website redesign is a more in-depth process and takes a longer period of time. The third phase is website development and testing, and we do this in both processes. So during this phase, you sit back and enjoy a weekly check-in email while focusing on your business. And I work on actually getting that design that we agreed on live on your website and then going through and testing it to make sure that everything is working. I'm going through and clicking on links and testing out contact forms. And if something comes up because we can't get it to work exactly the way that we thought we could, I will let you know and we'll troubleshoot how we want to move forward. Then the fourth phase is launch. So this is when you get to pop the champagne or the LaCroix and celebrate your website launch. For my refresh clients, a lot of times this is where the big part of the process ends. They may or may not choose to keep me on for step 5, but for my redesign clients, the next phase is included automatically in what they're signing on for. And that's ongoing strategy. The design isn't done when your website launches. In order to have a website that helps you reach those big goals, I'll be checking analytics and suggesting changes we can make to improve the website. I do this for about a month after the website launches, and then I look at your big goals, the things that we were trying to achieve on your website, and I'll suggest tweaks or changes we might make to help you better reach those goals. Once that initial round of goal review and tweaks is done, you have the option of staying on with me longer term so that I can check in with you monthly or quarterly or every 6 months and look at the analytics and the design again. And that's available to all of my clients. But this really concentrated time right after launch is mostly for a full redesign, because we're starting from scratch and we want to make sure that what we implemented is working. So what does this actually entail? And what is the difference in what you're getting between a redesign and a refresh or customization? For an informational website, which is what I'm going to be focusing on today, if you are getting a brand new informational website that does not include an online store, what you're going to get are 7 basic things. And there's a lot of information that goes in under each of these things, but I'm just going to give you a brief overview today. The first is website planning. So this is where you're going to be answering questions, and I am going to be checking out your inspiration and reading your answers to help me learn more about your needs and your design aesthetic. And then we're going to go into concept design. So I'll design the basic pages of your website for layout and user experience, and you're going to get to approve that. Those are the mock-ups. All of this happens in that strategy phase so that we can get to the third thing, which is the content to-do list. And I talked about content to-do lists back in November in episode number 29. So make sure you check that out if you're wondering how you can work on the content for your website. But I will create a custom content to-do list for you so that you know exactly what I need from you to go on your website. Then I'm going to get into the website design. So I'm going to start on phase 2. And this is where I design all of your website pages using your brand, and eventually I'll add your content and help you make it live. While I am doing those mock-ups and getting the colors right and choosing where exactly the images are going to go, you're going to be working on creating that content and sending it to me. So the difference here between the concept design in step 2 and the website design in step 4 is that a concept design is just a basic outline. There's probably not going to be the images already picked out or even the colors or the fonts, but I'm just making sure that it looks the way that you're envisioning and that everything that we need to include is there. So it's going to have blocks for where the images go and just, blocks where the text go so that you can see the basic feel of your website and make sure that it fits with your style and with the clients you're trying to reach. But it's not the actual design. It's not what your website is going to look like. That comes in the website design step where you're actually going to get a PDF and a video that walks you through, okay, right now, this is what I'm thinking your website is going to look like. And then we get into step 5, which is the design review. So before that design is finalized, I'm going to review everything with you and make updates based on your feedback. So again, this phase can be a little bit of an intensive phase for my clients because they want to give feedback. And if there are things they want to change, we might work back and forth a little bit. but then they can let me take back over and work on their business while I go into step 6, which is the website testing, where I make the final revisions, I fully test everything, I make sure that it's all up and running and functional. And then in step 7 is the tutorials and training. So I'm going to teach you how to manage your website and provide tutorial videos so that you can make updates yourself or send them off to your team to make the updates, and you're not always having to reach back out to a designer. For an informational website, this process takes 3 months from starting that strategy phase to launching. Sometimes we stretch that out a little bit longer so that you have more time to work on your content, and then you get that 1 month of post-launch support, which includes the strategy, the analytics, and the suggestions that I'm going to make, as well as implementing any of those changes we want to try out. If you don't need the full website redesign, if you are just looking at getting a refresh, getting your website customized, you don't need all of those things. So you just need a few tweaks to create a website that really fits your style and brand. So what's included here is that I am going to go in first thing and audit your website. I'm going to review your current website and make recommendations based on my professional expertise and what you have told me that you need. And then I'm going to send you some questionnaires and get inspiration for you to help me learn more about your design aesthetic and the needs that you have for your website as it grows. And then you get to choose what you need. So I can help with a lot of different things on your website, and they can be small projects like just doing one page of your website, or it can be a total refresh of everything on your website, but I'm not going in and starting from scratch. So some of the things that I will help my clients with are adding custom CSS. In Squarespace, it's sometimes difficult to figure out how to get things to look exactly the way you want, and we need to do some custom coding, so I can do that for you. I can help with designing a single page, like a sales page or a home page. I can help with SEO implementation, so helping you figure out what those keywords are. Although I am not an SEO expert, I can give some suggestions there, and then I can actually go into your website and put everything in the right place so that you can start to show up in those search engines. And I'm going to be talking more about SEO in episode 38 in 2 weeks, so make sure you check that out if you have questions about that. I can do a website audit. So the first step is an overview, but we could also do a more in-depth audit so that you can go in and make those changes yourself and really dig into, okay, this is exactly sort of what we need to change, and I can give you a report back on your website. I can help with the analytics and goal tracking. So I can get analytics set up on your website and sort of explain how you might track those goals. I can help with user experience testing. So this is something new that I'm offering, and I feel like a lot of website designers out there aren't doing this. But user experience testing is a really important thing to do when you are designing a website for people, which is all of us. So what I do here is I will hire a few people to actually go in and test your website. I will get on a video call with them and record their screen and then ask them to do certain tasks. And as they walk through these tasks, I'm having them explain what their thoughts are, what they're struggling with, what they like. And what we're looking at here is not the design so much as how does it actually function? Does it make sense? When someone lands on a page of your website, do they know where to go next? Do they know what to click on? This is a really in-depth evaluation of, is your website working for the people that you're trying to reach? And then after I've sat down and I've recorded that video, you'll have a chance to review it. I'll write up a report with some major things that I think you will need to change and give you some action steps moving forward, whether you want me to work on those changes or if you want to do them yourself. Another thing that I can help with is implementing a newsletter, getting you set up on ConvertKit or MailChimp and linking that to your website, putting all of those call to action buttons in the right place so that people will start signing up and you can get all of that working. And again, I don't go back into your actual newsletter system and make sure all of the copy is correct. That's not my expertise, but what I do help with is getting it working on your website so that it's connected correctly and you're actually enticing people to sign up. I can also help with creating an online shop. So if you have a website that you love and you are ready to expand to offer products or downloadables or services that people can actually buy through your website, I can help you get that set up on Squarespace with the product creation and shop pages so that everything works correctly and people are seeing what they need to see in order to purchase from you. And then the last thing that I can do is come on and be an ongoing support person as a member of your team. What this looks like for most of my clients is that I've already done some design work. I know their style. I have some of the information that I need. And then they keep me on so that every month or every quarter, I will go in and I'll dig into their analytics. I will be there when they need to make changes. And they basically have a person that they know can get things done and they know will have some availability coming up. And as part of that sort of a program, you get a first priority. So if you are signed up on a retainer with me and you reach out and you want to work together for something, I will put you in front of people who are just contacting me for other things. Once we figure out what it is that you need to do, we'll go in and actually make those changes. So any of those things that we picked out, I will do the changes. I will show you the designs. We'll do the mock-ups just like before. And then you're going to review the design before it's finalized so that we can make updates based on your feedback. Again, then I will implement it and we'll test it. So I'll review the design and fully test it for functionality to make sure all the links work and all the buttons are working correctly. And then I'll provide you with tutorials and training on how to make updates to the things that I've done, especially if there is custom code in there. I'll send you the code. I'll send a video with how to make changes to it or how to put it on a different page so that you have control of your website. So that's the basic overview of a redesign versus a refresh. It's what's included, the steps that we go through, and how it works to give you a strategic website. If you're ready to update your website today and need some guidance on things that you can do, check out my free guide, 5 website updates to get legit. You can download it at lemonandthesea.com/5updates. There you will find a guide with 5 easy updates you can make today that are going to make your website stand out, be legal, and it includes free resources that you can check out, as well as easy action steps to get you started so that you can start making improvements to your website today. That is at lemonandthesea.com/5updates. So now that you know the difference between a website redesign and customization, I want to talk a little bit about how you know which one is right for you. And I started the show off with a couple of different things to look at, but these are some things that are really useful when you're ready to hire a designer and you're trying to figure out what it is that you need to invest in. Here's what I would suggest. You need a redesign if you are making a big transition in your business. If you are going from offering one-on-one services to selling courses or doing more education, if you are becoming known as an expert in your industry, and so in addition to serving your clients in the service you provide, you're now educating people who also provide that service. This would be like a photographer teaching other photographers. I would also recommend a redesign if you feel like your website is really out of date and you're finding that the clients that you're reaching are not your ideal clients. So you have upped your experience level, you are producing better work than you were before, and you know that your dream clients want to see something more from you in order to have confidence in hiring you. Those are all great reasons to have a redesign. I had a friend that I talked to and she recently redesigned her website, and she said that the reason that she chose to do that was because her work had gotten better over the years that she had been in business, but her website just felt too young and bubbly and it wasn't elevating her work. It didn't make her work look sophisticated. And so the clients she was finding expected good work, but they weren't her dream clients because they weren't seeing the elegant, sophisticated level of experience that she could bring to them. Not because the work she was showing on her website, the portfolio she had, didn't reflect that, but because the website wasn't really telling the same story as the images and the copy that she was sharing. So for her, a redesign was a great way to really kickstart her business, get to working with those dream clients, upping her prices and cutting down on the amount of work she was taking so that she could really dig into what she wanted to be spending her time on. Another great reason for a website redesign for one of my clients was that she had been in business for, a little over a year, and she had been growing by word of mouth. So she had a portfolio, but her website was really just a landing page. It basically let people know how to get in contact with her and what she did, but it didn't show off her work. It didn't give her a place to talk about her services. It didn't give her an option for having people to sign up for an email list or any of those things that we associate with a website. She had the bare minimum because she had grown so much faster than she had expected. So when she reached out to me, she knew that her business was in a good place, that she had the types of clients she wanted to work with. But she knew that in order to get past that just finding people by referral and really build up a client base that was going to be consistent and was going to be made up of mostly her dream clients, she needed a website that was going to show off her work. And so what we did was work together to design something that was easy for her to update and to add items to her portfolio, but that included everything she had been doing for the past year and a half in her business. This worked for her because she wasn't trying to redesign something that was already existing. Her website was basically one page, and so now she knew she needed something that had all of those things people expect when they search for you online. I've also seen people redesign when they are making big shifts in their business. So one of my friends that I talked to recently is going from offering products as an artist and selling her art into working more as an educator and a graphic designer. So she's making this big shift in her business from one thing to the other, and she wants her website to reflect all of that new stuff that she's bringing. And while she knows that some of those people she worked with before are going to stick around, she's really targeting a new audience. So this would be a great time for her to redesign her website, to really evaluate her brand and her style and her dream clients so that she can start fresh with something that is really going to set her off on the right foot. Now, there are also reasons not to do a full redesign on your website. I'm going to go into those now. And while these are reasons not to do a redesign, they can also be reasons to just get some customization done. So you should not do a full website redesign on your site just because you feel like it is not on trend. One of the biggest things that I have seen recently is that trends are coming and going faster than ever. We see things on Pinterest and suddenly everyone in the whole world has rose gold on their website. But it's not a good reason to decide to redesign and overhaul your entire website. Just because you're not on trend doesn't mean that your website isn't working for you. So before you decide to scrap it all and start over, take a step back and really evaluate why you're feeling the need to do this. If you just want to be trendy because it looks pretty and because you're attracted to those sorts of things, I would say don't start with your website. If you want to play around with that, try it out on your Instagram or just, put up some new paintings in your home. You really want to live with the style before you decide to go all in for it. Another reason not to redesign is because one page of your website isn't working. You spent hours trying to figure out how to get that sales page to really convert people, and it's not doing its job. That's not a reason to scrap your entire website, because what you can do is get someone to help you with that specific page. And they can go in and make it fit your brand and your style and your voice. And maybe you need to work with a copywriter to do some copy updates. or a designer can help you lay it out so that it really speaks to your dream clients and makes it easy for them to digest. You don't need to go in and update your homepage because your sales page isn't working. You just want to focus on that one thing that needs to be improved. Another reason not to update your website is because you started using a template that you feel like looks like everyone else. What I'm going to say here might be a little bit controversial, but I think that templates can be customized and really reflect your style. So if you have a template that's mostly working for you, but you feel like it's just not standing out enough, I would suggest reaching out to somebody who does customization and see what they can do to take your website to the next level without starting over. You may find that the template you've chosen really just is too overused and you want to redesign, but it doesn't have to be your first step. I recently redesigned a site for my client that I had actually designed to begin with, so she reached back out to me when she needed to refresh some stuff. And the reason that she was doing that was because the overall layout of her site was working, but she found that as she was getting ready to launch a new book, her brand just wasn't really reflecting the style of work she was putting out there. The original website was based on her style, what she liked, but the covers of her books and the style that she wrote in was a lot more fun and bubbly and brightly colored. And so the two things just didn't seem like they fit together. If someone had purchased her book and seen the cover of it and then gone to her website, they would seem like two mismatched pieces. So what we did was we went in, we updated all of the colors on her website and some of the fonts. We updated the images so that they better matched her sort of style of the covers of her books. I added some more calls to action and really fleshed out the pages that she already had. And then we built in a couple new pages for the new book and series that was launching. We didn't have to start from scratch. We didn't have to go in and take down the entire old website and build something new because the building blocks were there. She already had most of what she needed, and we just needed to go in and work together to figure out, okay, what was working and what wasn't, and how could we get those changes made so that when she launched her book at the beginning of January, it would be really ready to go and her website would support that. Another client that I worked with, whose website just launched recently, is a honeymoon planner. And so she had a basic template that she had purchased and set up on Squarespace, but she felt like it just wasn't at the sophisticated, elegant level she wanted to reach her dream clients. She had most of the information that she needed, but it just felt like this big, long text block that really had no way to drive interest, and it didn't feel sophisticated the way that she wanted it to. So what we did in this case was I did an audit of her website. We talked about the things that she liked and the things that she didn't like. Then I designed some mock-ups for her on her website, so they were actually, live behind a coming soon page with different styles of fonts so that her headings really stood out. We added places for icons and images and really divided that text that she already had in place into chunks so that it was more digestible. It made more sense for the people that were coming to her website. And we were also able to choose images and styles that reflected that elegant feel that she wanted to bring to her website in order to reach those really high dollar clients. Again, we didn't need to go in and start her website from scratch. She had the basics there. She knew what she needed to change and what was working on her website. And for some of the pages, I just went in and added just a couple lines of text here and there. It was some really simple changes. Some were a little bit more time consuming, but we made it work based on what she already had in place. And we just rearranged that information so that it made sense. If you're not sure where you are in your website journey, here's what I would say. Take a look at your website today. See how many people are contacting you. If you're getting the types of clients that you really want to be reaching. Think about whether or not the platform that you're on is serving you, that you find that it's easy to update and you're not intimidated by it. Ask yourself whether or not it has the functionality that you need in the future as you grow. If you want to open an online store, but your platform doesn't allow for it, you're going to have to figure out how you want to do that in the future. Then sit down and think about what you want to invest in your website. I will tell you this, a brand new strategically designed website can cost you a couple of $1,000s. My package starts at $4,000, but you don't necessarily have to invest that much if you have those building blocks in place. So figure out what you want to invest, what makes sense for your business, how old your website is. If you haven't updated your website in 3 years, it may be time to really do a redesign. Trends change and we don't have to follow them, but there's also best practices that change. If your website isn't mobile friendly at all right now, then that means you really need to make your website redesign a priority, because that's where the most people are going to be finding you. So once you've sort of evaluated your own website, then I would take a look and see what your competitors' websites look like, or what websites you visit frequently that you're really attracted to. See if you can figure out what makes those websites stand out more than your own. Is it just that the styling is a little bit different? Is it that it's totally out of date? There can be a lot of things that you want to incorporate from the things that you see your other competitors doing, and you don't have to steal what they're doing, but you can get what the best practices are. And then you can start reaching out to designers. So look at designers who you admire. If there is a website that you really like, you can check out who designed that to get an idea of who to reach out to, and then talk to them. A lot of designers will sit down with you on a call and walk you through their process and evaluate whether or not your website needs a redesign, or if you just need some customization, or maybe you can figure out some ways to update it yourself. I don't ever want to push somebody into hiring me if it's not the right decision for their business. And that might sound a little weird because I'm in business and I need to have clients in order to make money, but I want my clients and even the people who don't hire me to be making smart decisions so that they can grow their business. And then you can take some time to really figure out, do you need a redesign? Can you just do a refresh? And who is it that you want to invest that time and money with? My last suggestion is, like I just said, get on a call with the designers that you're considering. You are going to be working closely with your website designer. Whether you want to be involved with every little decision or not, you're going to have to email back and forth with that person. You're going to have to trust them with this very important piece of your business and with a very big investment in your business. And so you want to make sure that this is a person that you get along with, that understands your vision and what you need on your website, that their style reflects your own, and that they work on the platform that makes sense for your business. So there are certainly some things that you want to make sure you can check off. Are they on the right platform, like I mentioned? Do they offer the functionality that you need? But there's also an intangible thing that you can get on a call that you won't always get through email that lets you know just, is it a good fit? Is this a person that I want to be talking with weekly or daily for 4 or 5 months? Is this a person that I feel like I can trust with my website? And as a side note, you can always check out their testimonials and actually get in contact with the people they've worked with before to see if you feel like this would be a good person for your own project. And then when you're ready, don't be afraid to just go for it. I know it's scary to make a big investment in your business. It can be a lot of money that you're not sure you're going to get a return on. But if you have found a designer who fits your style, that you really get along with and gel with, that person is going to be able to help you make back that investment in your business because your website will be doing its job. That's my goal, is for your website to do the job that you need it to do, whether that's collecting email addresses, getting people to contact you, finding sponsors for something, selling a course. Whatever it is, it's important to you and to your business that your website helps support that big goal, and a website designer will help you get there, whether it's through total redesign or just a refresh and some customization. As always, if you have questions about this or you just want a designer's eye on your website to give you a little bit of feedback, don't be afraid to reach out to me at samantha@lemonandthesea.com, and I am happy to hear your feedback on this episode or any questions that you have. Finally, I would so appreciate it if you would go and leave a review on iTunes about this episode or any of the past episodes. It really helps me get found by other people who need this information as well and could benefit from it in their own businesses. I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that you learned a lot about what you need for your own website. And I've got some great stuff planned coming up, so make sure that you're subscribed in iTunes so that you get every episode as it comes out. Thanks for listening to Process to Profitability. Please take a minute to leave an honest review in iTunes so that I can help more small business owners and creative entrepreneurs find the show.